The 62-year-old six-term congressman chairs the Budget Committee in the House of Representatives, Trump describing the orthopedic surgeon as a tireless problem solver. Joining me now from Washington, our correspondent Philip Crowther. Philip, Donald Trump said after the election that he actually favoured keeping certain provisions of the Affordable Health Care Act, but his choice for Health Secretary has wanted to dismantle and replace it for years.
Yes, and has actually been working on an alternative to the Affordable Care Act, also known as ObamaCare, since Republicans named it that. Representative Price of Georgia, his main role will be to repeal and replace Obamacare, the health care reform, and that has been a promise of Donald Trump's on the campaign trail, well, pretty much ever since he got into the race. It'll be relatively difficult to do. This is a very large piece of legislation, much of which is, of course, already in place. It'll be difficult to dismantle a healthcare law that has given health insurance, or at least made it possible for millions of Americans. But you're right, Donald Trump has already said that he wants to keep certain provisions. For example, the one that forces health insurance companies to keep those with pre-existing conditions on their health care plans, and it allows those until the age of 26 to stay on their parents' health care. But let me just give you one view of Democrats of this appointment. It comes from Senator Chuck Schumer. He will be the leader of Democrats in the Senate when the new Congress gets into action in January. He says that Price is way out of the mainstream and adds this, putting him in this position is akin to letting the fox guard the hen house. In other words, his role will be to dismantle the healthcare reform entirely.
Philip, Donald Trump has taken to Twitter with a threat to protesters this morning.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one again, this one from Donald Trump. He woke up with something to say, put it on Twitter. We don't exactly know where this comes from. He says this. He says those who burn American flags should have consequences and should be punished, he says, by possibly stripping them of their U.S. citizenship and even putting them into jail for up to a year. Now, we don't know exactly where this comes from because there aren't many protests around the United States right now against Donald Trump, and there are no signs of any flag burning going on in the United States. But what is more worrying, of course, about a tweet like this one is it seems like Donald Trump's point of view goes against the U.S. Constitution, which protects free speech, first of all. And also, the Supreme Court has already decided that burning the American flag is something that is legal and is protected under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. This is just one part of the kind of things we see on Donald Trump's Twitter feed, while in theory we're told he's concentrating on finding other members of his administration. Also last night criticizing one specific CNN journalist in 3 subsequent tweets. Donald Trump sometimes seeming rather angry when he wakes up.